Lacuna coil.
Thank you. Merci beaucoup.
Missed you so much. That's amazing, guys, to see you finally here. It's fucking cool. Wow. You know what? First of all, I just wanted to thank you, guys. Thank you. You know why? Because during the pandemic situation and first lockdown, you guys were there live. And that was really important. I mean, for me and probably for all the fans. So really, thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you. You guys were there for us as well, because I mean, it was very, very awkward for us to see everything stopping.
Yeah.
So we tried everything we could to keep in touch with our community.
Yeah.
Whether it was with a show that we did live from the apocalypse, whether it was through social medias. It kept us alive because we knew that there were people waiting for us, and we were waiting to meet our people as well. So we're back.
Really, thank you for our mental health, for everything. You were amazing. At the main stage too, we felt alive. So really, thank you for that. I mean, whatever, if everybody want to ask a question, go. But thank you.
Yeah,
Great.
well, it's been also special for us to restart with the festival season after 2.5, 3 years. We started last week in the UK on Download and in Spain. And now this is just the third show, so it feels very, very... In the beginning it was surreal for us. We couldn't believe we were going to do it again. After there's been a moment where we weren't sure if this was coming back the way it used to be, you know. So we're really glad we've been here.
Thank you, Christina. How did you manage to make the guy have also on Instagram on story making lives? How did you manage?
Well, I think it became natural for us to kind of document everything we do, not only for for medias, but also because we want to keep memories, and about me dealing with them. They have to deal with me, because when we are on a tour bus, I try to keep all the spaces, with shopping and everything, so they're like, whatever. So they are patient with me.
Oh, yeah. Hello, Lacuna coil. Thanks for being here. So your latest album was just announced as being mastered at the end of last month. What can you tell us about that? What can you tell us about the new project that's coming out?
First of all, we can say that it's not gonna be album number 10 for us, so it's not the new Lacuna Coil record, but it's new music from Lacuna Coil in a special project. We're gonna announce it very, very soon, matter of days, like week maybe. And everybody obviously wants to know what it is, but we can't say, obviously. But it's gonna be revealed very, very soon. And we're also working on some new songs for eventual album number 10, but not yet. We don't have anything ready yet. So we're doing parallel works on these two different things. Hopefully you're gonna enjoy it.
È un po' tipo quando sono Iron Man, sti belli.
Hey guys, welcome to France, welcome to Hellfest. My name is Neil, I'm from London. I just wanted to ask you, with the pandemic, how has that changed the band's outlook about your future? Has it given you a different look and feel and insight into what you appreciate and what you don't appreciate and what your objectives are?
We definitely appreciate everything around us, and I mean everything, much, much more. Sometimes you live and take things for granted because you see them every day, and you don't realize that everything can be taken away from you in a second. So I'm not just talking about music, but also like this, yours.
This beer.
But also like human relationships. We never thought that we would be forced to stay home without seeing anyone else. We saw so much sadness around us. People not to be able to be at hospitals, just to stay close to their relatives, and it was horrible to see. So that definitely changed our perspective. And I gotta say that personally, even on tour, I am enjoying everything out of the show. Like I used to be more reclusive. After the show, I would go back to the tour bus, not talking to people because, I have a show the day after. I realized on the last tour that I was just like, I'm gonna come out with you guys, I'm gonna party, I'm gonna meet people, I'm gonna hug as much as I can. So that definitely changed me, and I know that is the same for the guys.
Yeah, I think we know this also for everybody. I think as a different perspective now. Also, people that is coming to the show. We've done a tour in the United States and Canada right before the festival season, and every people that was coming to the show was so happy with a big smile. They were supporting the band, buying all the merchandise, getting sold out show every night. So there was this energy that obviously there was also before, but nowadays it seems like they won again something that came back to them. They enjoy it even more, you know, they appreciate even more the fact that we go there and we can party together. So that, I think that's changed for us, but for everybody also.
Salve ragazzi, sono italiana, quindi vi saluto. We speak English obviously for the rest. So first of all, I want to say thank you so much, Christina, because obviously you don't know why, I'm telling you in a minute. When you had your Twitch with Randy Blythe and I had COVID and I was very sick, and you guys really made my day because it made me forget about my illness. So thank you for that. One thing
That's what I mean. It's really important to interact, and we always remember that we are right here because of you guys, because of your support. I mean, we were still doing music, but we wouldn't be here talking to each other, playing on Hellfest stage, you know, traveling, making a job out of our biggest passion. So thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. And obviously Lamborghini, one of my favorite bands as well, and you guys, so it was brilliant. So thank you for that. The question I wanted to ask is, looking at the future, obviously you have a new record coming out, although not a album per se. After such an extended career and obviously very successful in so many ways, is there something that you feel that you haven't quite achieved yet? And what is that?
That Hollywood Hill big house with the Ferrari in the front.
We would probably love to write a complete soundtrack for a movie. That would be interesting because we are very inspired by images. When we compose, I mean, Maki writes the majority of the music, and then Richard and Didi comes in, and Andrea and I with lyrics and vocal lines. But we are very inspired by images, whether it's documentaries or movies or images from video games as well. We'll listen to a lot of music. So I think that maybe writing a soundtrack for a cool action movie. You have yours.
Obviously, at the house at LA, that's fine. Yeah, on the beach, Venice Beach. Thank you.
It's either one of the two is fine. We can take both or one of the two.
Two is better than one.
Now, one thing we can say, what you were saying about the social media, is that I think during the pandemic we've seen the worst of the social media from a lot of people. But on the other hand, we'll also see how much useful has been to keep everybody in touch, to keep everybody on the same page and share the news and share the difficult moments together. So social media has been useful, but also very useful also to understand who you don't want to see anymore, you know.
Thank you. Last row.
All right. First of all, how everybody is doing? We all know that it's hot as hell today. Anyway, my question here is maybe a bit cheesy, more classy, but it's always something that I always wondered. We all know that most of the time when you start a music band, even before, we all been through the time when we were a child or a teenager and you waited for hours to see your favorite band, you know? How it feels to be on the other side, how it feels to have this emotion of knowing that people will wait hours on the pit for you, just like you did before. And my other question is, do you still waiting to go to concert and waiting on the pit? And how it feel? Like, do you have another eyes now when you see concert?
Well, speaking of different perspective, when we did the live streaming in 2020, we had to play in front of nobody because no one was allowed in the venue. And that was the most awkward thing because we definitely realized that without a crowd in front of ours, there is no energy because there is no exchange. And this is one thing that we absolutely realized, that there is no show, there is no festival, there is any event without someone attending, looking at you, cheering for you, singing with you, dancing with you. And that is one thing, so that we absolutely realized. And the other thing I don't remember, as soon as you were talking, what did you ask in the second question? Oh yes, and that's what I wanted to say. We were in Canada, and we found out that right by our venue, the venue we were playing at, Rotting Christ and Borknagar were playing, and we found out the same afternoon. And as soon as we finished playing, we immediately ran to see the gig, and it was the very first gig after 2.5 years, without masks, in the crowd, sweating together with a lot of people, and it was amazing. It was the most amazing thing. So we couldn't wait for events to be back. So yeah, we're still fangirling as well, and we'll do it forever.
Yeah, I think very often people don't realize just because we are in a band, we tour, we play shows, we're still music fans just like everybody else. You know, we still have our favorite songs and favorite bands.
Hello guys, I'm Joe from Loud TV. Maybe I'm the only one to see you at the late 90s with Grip Inc. Arapao, Paris. With Grip Inc. Yeah. With the famous singer and rip to Gus G. He's it seems that you got the both singers the same duality on stage. I saw your eyes, on stage, and it's you're still friends. We can see you. We can see you on stage. It's amazing after 25
so many years.
Yeah.
Actually, we just heard Valdemar not long ago for some bad news, but we're still friends with Valdemar, and we still love the guys. And obviously, Gus is not with us anymore, but it's been fun to tour with him. It was such a very crazy, fun guy. And that was one of our, not the first tour, but one of the first tours in '99. And
we were young, with hair.
You're still young.
Thank you.
It's in the air.
Yeah, it's
True.
not in the air.
I agree.
It's just in the air.
Another question, I'm sorry, I had lots, but this one is about, during the pandemic situation, there was a lot of horrible stuff happened, like the movement, Black Lives Matter movement, start to emerge, and it was really hard to watch, really. But what happened is, I'm so sorry. Is that okay? Okay. Sorry. What I want to say is I discovered a lot of fucking cool band through the Nova Twins playlist, who called Voices for the Unheard. So I want to ask you, what about you guys? Did you discover new stuff, new band, new? I don't know. I discovered trap metal, and I liked it. So what about you?
I listen to a lot of soundtracks from video games, because a lot of soundtracks of video games are metal. And a lot of players don't even know that. They listen to metal and they're like, oh, no, I don't listen to metal. Yeah, you do. You just don't know it. So this is another thing that I want to work with, as being a gamer, with Twitch. I want to convince as many people as I can that they're listening to metal and they're loving it. They just don't know it yet. So I'm listening to that now.
Yeah, and then I think a lot of people during the pandemic, they wrote us that they found out about our band because they put the random function on Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon, and they say, oh, I never heard of your band, but I was listening to this, so they recommend this other band. So I think that's one good thing about everybody always criticize the streaming, which is true, and sometimes they're right criticizing, but there's also another side that you can get in touch with a lot of more people more easily than it was before, So it's a new world, So we're trying to cope with it.
Stai qua tutto il giorno intanto.
Hi.
Ci vediamo dopo.
If I'm not mistaken, this is your very first time at the Hellfest. So I have two questions. The first one, why did it took so long for you to come here? And the second one, why only 40 minutes? Because if you ask me, you deserve 1 hour on spot.
We don't know the first question, and we don't know for the second question. We don't know it either, because, we used to play a lot more in France, and we loved it. Like, we had amazing crowds, and all of a sudden, probably because of logistics or things that we don't really know, because it might sound weird, but even if you're the band, you're kind of the last one that gets into the mechanism. There are promoters and agencies and managers that are trying to make a Tetris out of your schedule. And we never played at Hellfest, and we don't even know why, but we're here, so fuck the past. Let's look forward.
Finally.
See you next year, maybe.
Yeah, we want to play every year, don't worry.
Hi, Lacuna coil. This question for all the band. This is Sofian from the RTBF channel. That's why I have two microphones, one for the TV and one for here.
You look good.
Thank you. So, I follow you on Instagram and all social media, and we see that the bands, even if it's like pandemic or not a pandemic, there's always this positive and empowering message, especially with you, Christina. And I want to know, do you feel that positive effect of that connection with the fans, either through the DMs or when you play on the stage? Do you feel that energy channeling since they know you?
I really hope so. I mean, we feel this energy, so every time we perform, we try to convey this energy to the crowds. And sometimes I have to admit that we wonder, like, do we look stupid? Because we love to have fun. I mean, there was a second in which we thought, like, we're probably supposed to be more serious, but we always end up being silly and having a good time, and we couldn't have it any other way, so that's us. Hey.
All right. Hey, everyone. So, yeah, my name is Margot, or Margot Sharon also. I wanted to ask a question about the concert you are planning in October, Coma Lives. So it's the anniversary of Comalis. So how did you decide to make such a big event? And also the VIP is a pretty big event too for the fans.
I mean, it is an important birthday. I mean, 20 years doesn't even arrive as a birthday for many bands. A lot of bands, it doesn't even make it after a few months, almost, especially nowadays. So we know how lucky we are to have such a strong basis of fans. And we decided to celebrate this special birthday of a record that actually projected on a bigger scale, because after Comalize we started to really play bigger festivals, bigger events, a bigger fest. And but you're gonna hear it in a way you've never heard it before. So it's going to be a very, very special show.
Okay, again, Loud TV over here. Guys, thank you very much. So obviously COVID started in China, but we saw that Italy was the most impacted country in the entire world when it first started. And I'm curious to know how that impacted you guys personally. Obviously just as a band, but even in your personal lives. And the journey that you guys have had, obviously there was a concert in July of 2020 in Milan. But beyond that, what have you guys done as far as that journey, and how has that impacted you from then until now, where you're back to finally playing these really big shows?
Well, I remember that we have been one of the very first bands canceling shows because we knew that something bigger was coming. We were in South America for a tour, and we came back, and for the first time at the airport they were taking our temperatures, so they had this strange thing like on our heads, and we were like, oh, what is this? And we only heard about a couple having COVID before we left for this tour. So we soon understood that there was something very bad happening. And it was also weird because every other country around us didn't understand that it was coming to them as well. So they thought that we were over-exaggerating, canceling shows. We got a lot of criticisms like, oh, why you're not coming here, why you're not coming there? And it's like, guys, there is something going on here.